throw.
Bush League Baseball is live. Hello, everybody. Tonight, 5 players that should be in the Hall of Fame. Bush League Baseball. Smash the like button on the way to say hello to Bill Jr. and Bill Sr. What's going on, Bill and Bill?
Not much. All good. So good so far. We'll see how it goes.
I like it. I like it. Well, it's going to go good if at the end of the show Steve Garvey's in the Hall of Fame. I think that's the way we should start. I know that's what you two have on the top of your list. Well, I don't want to give away the whole show right now, but
yeah, he may be in there. I did hear that they're looking for janitors in the Hall of Fame, so yeah, he could possibly be in there.
I'm not a violent man, but don't you be messing with my Steve Garvey. I love that man. How's your week been? How you guys doing? We've got all kinds of baseball news today. We have a topic, so we're going to talk about the topic, but I hear some good things. I had a busy day, but I had the news on, but I wasn't watching it, but I know they met today, being the owners and the players. And what little I heard, I didn't love, but I don't really care. I just want them to play. I hear July 4th.
Yeah, I don't know about that now after the news that came out about 45 minutes before we came on.
I'm not up to date. In the last 3 hours I have been, so I don't know.
Well, the new proposal is the players making the most money will take the biggest hit. Somebody like Trout or Cole that signed with the Yankees for $35-36 million a year. They'll drop down to making 7.84 if they're making $35 million a year. It escalates. The players making the league minimum of $563,000, they'll make $262, and then as it goes up from there, your percentage is a little less. So the upper echelon players. I don't know if it's the owners are trying to put the player higher echelon against the lower echelon players. I don't know what they're trying to do. And then they say they'll try, if they have a good postseason, because that's where, without fans, that's where most of their money's going to come from the national television contract come playoffs. And they said if that goes and that's good, the players will get a bigger kicker in the end.
Yeah, well, I don't know anything. I'll read it all when the show's over here, but the players won't go for that. The owners have no power. The players have all the power. The players know that. But players will get paid 100%, I guarantee it. I don't care what proposal it'll be. You're going to get right up against it. The Dodgers are talking about letting people go. I believe I read the Padres are talking about letting people go. The Dodgers, or the players can just go to the beach. They'll be fine. Yeah. Hey, I'll see you next April. We'll be there. Here's the union play. See you in March. No, can we please play will be how the owners respond. What do you think, Bill Jr.? You've been quiet down there. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. $7 million a year as opposed to 35. That's going to be a no for me, dog. Like, what was it, Randy Jackson on American Idol? But yeah, like,
nobody who's making $35 million doesn't have any dollars in the. They can. Hey, I can go to the Riviera for 6 months and then start training when all this is gone, or I can play this year. The owners have the need. The players do not. So this is the dumbest negotiation in the history of negotiations. They'll get paid 100%. I guarantee it.
I guarantee you they won't get paid 100%. There's no way in hell without fans that they'll get paid 100%. No way.
Let's make that bet.
Okay, we'll make the players had already agreed to to half if they play 82 games. It would be prorated at 50%.
Well,
but
that would be 100%. That would be 100% in my mind. If you play 81 game season and you play for half your contract, that's.
Yeah,
I can see them going for that.
Yeah, that makes sense because you're only playing half the games. But the one good thing that I heard out of this today that I hadn't heard before
Although I
get the
doubt they do
80-some
that.
games in, I thought that they had to start playing by July. Well, if the playoffs go deeper into November, they said they can go as far as August 1st before starting an 82-game season. I heard that on CBS
I'm not up
Sports.
to date on it, I'll be honest. Well, I'd love to hear what you guys think in chat. Let me know what you think. Hit the like button. Thanks to a bunch of new subscribers. The Instagram is going well. The Facebook's going well. I see we got Movie Mania Nick in the house. We got Keystone in the house. We got Rally Creative in the house. We got Stacey Rogers, my buddy in the house. We got Tim Pruitt, my buddy in the house. What's going on? I hope I didn't miss anybody. I'm glad you guys are here. I'm glad it's Tuesday. It's weird. I got used to Thursday. I love that it comes faster in my week now. But I think we should get right to it. You guys want to talk about Steve Garvey and why he should be in the Hall of Fame? That is the topic, right?
Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit in a few minutes here. Rally Creative Travel asked the question. I doubt if they have anything like, crazy stuff like this happening in their contracts. As far as, I guess you call it an act of God stoppage of play, or I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that.
That's a good point. I'm sure. I mean, the contract is for some kind of services rendered. You don't get paid just for breathing, right? And so if there's no season, like the owners have the ability to lock the players out. They've done that before. So if they lock them out, there's no season, they don't get paid. The truth is the truth. If the major league teams are hurting financially, which I don't believe for a second, but if they are, I mean, come on, the merch alone could probably do it. But if they are, then I think everything will be decided when if the owners play hardball, then they've been lying for 20 years because they don't open their books. They've never opened their books. So I think major league owners are making a lot more than people say because they don't show their books.
Right.
If they play hardball, then they can wait. I think that's to use what I believe they're doing, saying they're going to let employees go because they're hurting financially. I think that's total BS. And if they're using that to negotiate, then I'm not very happy about that. I got to be honest with you, but
yeah, you never really know what the truth is. Like you said, they don't open their books, but if there's no fans, they're definitely going to take a big hit in revenue. I mean, a lot of the teams still have major TV contracts, local TV. A team like the Yankees or the Dodgers, I'm sure they have very good lucrative TV contracts. But the lesser teams, like the Kansas City,
most of them do. The Rangers have a huge one. Yeah.
But the Yankees, they will gain the most out of this latest proposal because I forget what the number I saw was. I think it was like a third of their roster or a quarter of their roster is making over $20 million a year.
Wow. Tim makes a really good point. He says, guys, don't you think because fans are starving for games, I think TV will pay big time. If Major League Baseball or the Texas Rangers or whoever went to negotiate the national or to renegotiate the national contract and their local contracts, they could make it up. If you're doing 82 seasons, you just got to say, hey, Fox, double it for this year and you keep us. And they go, and the revenues are taken care of. How hard is that? Call me up, Mr. Seelig, I know he's not the commissioner anymore, and I'll negotiate that for you. How hard can that freaking be? We were watching shuffleboard on TV. We watched players playing video games. It'll be fine. The money in the TV is there. We're dying for some entertainment, what Tim said.
Well, I know the other day...
Another reason I hate the Yankees.
I'm so ready to watch baseball. Like I said on our Facebook the other day, I'd even watch the Dodgers, and then I had second thoughts on KBO game came on. So
it's the first time I ever unsubscribed to my own channel. I couldn't believe that we said that on our channel. I don't know. We'll see. I think that the players have all the power. I think the players know they have all the power. I think the owners are generally stupid in history on negotiations, and I know the owners are different all the time, but I don't see anybody stepping up and taking the lead. The NBA, I know this is a baseball show, but the NBA is talking heavy about playing in Orlando. Disney's still been making the changes. The NBA seems to want to have it in like 4 or 8 different hubs. Orlando can do it all. I don't know. It's a very interesting time. I would love to be in I'd love to be in the MLB office right now and see what's going on.
Well, the NBA, that sounds like, I'd say that's about a 90% that it's going to be in Disney. That's the way it's looking. Supposedly, I only thought that they had the one indoor court there, their main arena, but evidently they have 2 more. So, they can host all the teams, and, they can still have free to, move about and all like that, but they'll still be in one spot.
Yeah.
So, and I forget what resorts, one of the resorts or a couple of the resorts, they're going to get them ready, and it's only going to be the NBA players in there.
It's been ready. Yeah, they've had it for about a week or so. Of what I've read, I don't know anything, just what I've read. That's exciting news to me. I don't even care about the NBA, but I would be interested in that for obviously because there's nothing to watch on TV. I'm not a big TV guy, but when I turn it on, I want freaking sports. I'll tell you what, who's going to be the winner here? The NFL is going to be the winner because we're all going to be dying for it. And while we've all been, the ratings have been coming down, head injuries, this and that, all the stupid political BS, horrible refereeing, all the dumbness that the NFL's been doing, and they're going to come swooping in August and September. We're all going to be dying for it, and we're all going to be nuts with the NFL again.
We'll see. Now, before we get into our other stuff here, and a little off topic, Bill texted me before we went on, and I think the NHL came out with something. Was that today, Bill?
Yeah, so they came out with something this afternoon about noon Eastern Standard Time. They're gonna go right into the playoffs. Basically, they're gonna start their training camp the beginning of July for a couple weeks, and then go right into a 24-team playoff. So you got the East and the West, best 12 teams go. Top 4 teams in each conference play a round robin to decide the top 4 seeds, which for the 1 seed, that's going to hurt them the most. And then for the 4 seed, it's going to only benefit them because, they can't go any further down. And then they're going to have 2 main cities be the hubs for each 12-team conference with the playoffs. Now
Can I be honest? That sounds a lot like the College World Series idea.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
It really does. The only thing that I see wrong with this is maybe that 4-team round robin at the top, because if you take the East, you got Boston, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. The only team it really helps is Philadelphia because they're only going to go up. If they stay at 4, they stay at 4, and they play Boston the first round.
This changed a little bit because they were talking, the ones that were leading all the conferences and the divisions or whatever, it was the ones that were going to have like a wild card. They would have to play like a 3-game series to play their way in, and then it would go to 7 games. So it changed a little bit, but at least they got something worked out. And if you're not,
the NHL was right at the end anyway. The NBA was less close.
Yeah, they're usually about 10 days behind as far as their schedules, maybe 2 weeks. The NHL and the NBA.
Hey H, welcome in. See you in chat. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I don't know. I think Tim said it in chat. The first league that gets there is going to win. They can all win if they all get up and running. I don't know. The only losers here would be the owners and the fans, though. Again, the players will be fine.
Yeah. We'll see.
I just want some baseball. I was hoping that we'd get some really good news today, so on the show tonight, because you guys are both in it. I had this 20 team Disney Creators Fantasy Baseball League ready to go. 20 people, 20 different teams. It was going to be awesome, and we're going to help grow our channels and have fun and have more stuff to talk about, except for besides the Phillies being bad. I needed more stuff. I needed more jokes. And so I was hoping I would come on and say, hey, this weekend, expect your invites. I heard they're ready to start playing, and then July 4th they're going to start. But then I heard the revenue sharing silliness. That's so dumb. I fear, I hope I'm wrong, I fear the owners think this is an opportunity because I've read some articles that said the players could be at risk for being the ones to hold back when everybody wants them. They're not at risk. We'll come back. We want to see great baseball. I don't want to see, Mikey Trout. I want to see Mike Trout. I don't want to see Jamie Turner. I want to see Justin Turner. We're not there. AAA baseball is fun, but it's not Major League Baseball. So the players have 100% of the power.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. And then there's still going to be, I think there's still going to be some that'll say, thanks, but no thanks. I'll see you in March.
Yeah.
As far as players.
If you're already a millionaire. Go ahead, Bill.
What was that, Bill?
No, I was just saying, you brought up the Fantasy Baseball League with the Disney Creators. I was so excited to come in, have a stellar draft, be all pumped for the season, and then go 0-162 and just blow it and then not even make the playoffs. That's what I do every year. I come in, I have a great draft, and then I'm like the Yankees last year, except I don't produce with my new guys. I come in, I have this great draft, everybody gets hurt, goes down, and that's it. I'm kaput. I'm done.
So, can I tell you a little secret? A little secret that you might not want to hear? Everybody at the end of their draft thinks they had a great draft. because they're the people they picked.
Well, I've never played in a 20-team league, though. That's the thing. Like, I've only
That's
ever
deep.
gone
That's
maybe
deep.
6.
Yeah, I kind of
Wow.
stopped playing.
Super deep.
I stopped playing, especially
Yeah.
fantasy football. I got tired of winning.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this guy.
Well,
We'll play in 12 leagues a year and win 9 out of the 12.
what did I do 2 years
You
ago,
guys
Bill?
really-
I was in 8 leagues, and how many did I win? I won 5,
7.
finished second in 2, and finished fourth in the other.
Okay, yeah,
The
there you
big
go.
family
I don't know what
fantasy
it does.
baseball and fantasy football leagues with my daughter, and my wife, I win every year. Just saying.
That's what I do. I'll play in a league at work, and then, we all go out to the field. We miss like a month of the season. Can't, change up who we got on our roster, and then, we got fantasy baseball. We'll get back to it.
I hope so, man. I hope so. Rob W. in the house. What's going on, Rob? All right, so Rob's here just in time to hear why Philly fan 1 and Philly fan 2 are totally angry about Steve Garvey not being in the Hall of Fame. Who wants to start?
I'm not at all.
You're not ready to start? You want to get more information on why Steve Garvey?
No, I'm ready to
should be in the
start.
Hall of
I'm on your page, Jeff. Like, I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. He's like in my top 5. 100%.
By the end of the night here, he may or may not be. Like I said, they are hiring janitors up there and outside lawn help for the summer, so he's still got a chance.
They're hiring guys to carry in the new stuff from the storage lockers.
Yeah. All right, you want to get started here? We'll get started now with the top 5 players that I think should be in the Hall of Fame. Now, these aren't going to be the players. Obviously, Bonds, Clemens, McGuire, I think they should be in the Hall of Fame, but, everybody knows that deal. So they're not on my list. Pete Rose isn't on my list. And the top one that I think should be in the Hall of Fame is Shoeless Joe Jackson because, he was caught up on all of it. But if you just look at his stats in that World Series, there was no way in hell he was trying to throw a World Series with the series he had back then. But so none of those are in my top 5, and these 5 here, they're not in no countdown from 5 to 1. They're just 5 players that I think should be in the Hall of Fame, and we're going to go with my first one here. The first one is Fred McGriff. He has 493 career homers. He's got 10 years of 30-plus homers that he had, and he led the league twice. He had 100 RBIs in a season 8 times, 1,550 career RBIs, and a 5-time All-Star. He's getting closer every year. I think he should be in, but we'll see what happens. The voters get a little fickle. He doesn't have quite the stats, but then they bend the stats they're feeling for other players to get in. So you never know what they're going to think from year to year. What do you guys think?
But Bill.
So I completely agree with that. If you're counting out Shoeless Joe and Pete Rose and guys of that nature with maybe a little bit of taint on their career, then yeah, definitely Fred McGriff is in the top 5. Like, just one of those overlooked players that got it done year in and year out and just kept sticking around. Like you said, he went, over 30 home runs a season for 10 seasons. That's almost unheard of nowadays with how much guys are getting hurt. And I mean, if you look at Ken Griffey's career, he had a lot of home runs, but how many home runs did he miss because of all the injury time? Like, it's just crazy. But, Fred McGriff, he's one of those guys I think got overshadowed by other guys in his draft class for those brief years that he was eligible for the Hall of Fame. And it's a shame. This is one of those situations where we're talking about something that it could make or break a guy's career not making the Hall of Fame by who he retires next to. And it kind of sucks, but on another stage, it's like we're kind of celebrating this guy's career by just talking about him now, how great he was, and to not be selected.
He never had the insane season, like 50 homers, 140 RBIs, but he was consistent as hell his whole career. He was always 30 to 40 home runs every year, 100 plus RBIs, and he was a good defensive first baseman. Something's brewing in that head there. I can see it coming.
There's so many people that should be in the Hall of Fame. He doesn't jump out at me as, man, it's a travesty he's not in the Hall of Fame. But the truth is he should be in the Hall of Fame. And this is weird, though. So when you mentioned this as our topic this week, my first thought was Steve Garvey because I'm a Steve Garvey nut. We'll have that conversation here in a minute. But then I looked at the guys who should be in the Hall of Fame that aren't. And I want the Hall of Fame to be hard. I don't want it to be the Hall of Pretty Good. I want it to be the Hall of Fame.
It shouldn't be the Hall of Good.
Yeah, it shouldn't. But there are so many players that I think should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if as I get older, I'm softening my stance. I could probably have an argument for 20 guys. Now, right off the bat, we have to start. You said, how is Roger Clemens? How is Barry Bonds? How is Mark McGwire? Those guys. Look, it is a freaking museum. Okay, it is not the hall of, hey, I would let my kid get babysat. And by the way, I probably would most of them. I don't understand the steroid argument. I hope that the generations that are beyond us will let them in. But I just want to stay. I know the topic is the top 5 players, so let's be real. Pete Rose, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens. It's not a Hall of Fame without those 3. Those are
now,
three
this
of
isn't the top 5 that I think should be
ever.
in the Hall. This is 5 players that I think. These aren't like the top 5. Obviously, I think all those players. Bonds, to me, he was a Hall of Famer before he started blowing up with the steroids. His time in Pittsburgh and when he first got to San Francisco, to me, he was already a Hall of Famer then, and then he just tacked onto it at the end.
If you don't put him in the top 5 awesome offensive players in the history of the game, you just don't care about baseball. You don't.
Yeah,
I mean,
and then again,
it's crazy.
Everybody talks about the steroids. Steroids didn't become illegal in the MLB until I think it was 91 or 92, but they didn't start testing till 6 or 7 years later. So it was illegal in 91. So, all right, if you say anything that happened after 91, well, before then, I think, Bonds, he was already borderline going to be a Hall of Famer then. But I agree, too. I mean, I can see both sides of it, but
I can't.
I don't know. It's a sore subject with me. I think Clemens and the ones that lied about it, that acted like that they didn't, maybe it's a little harder for them to get in. But the one thing I hate about the baseball writers, everyone has a different view. I always hated the thing, he can't be, an MVP on the season. He was on a losing team. Well, he's the best damn player in the league. Oh, but that doesn't, that's not the MVP. He's not the most valuable player. Well, he was the most valuable player in baseball. Look at his numbers.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I can't have this conversation without saying Bonds, Rose, Clemens.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you. I just left them out for sake of argument because, they should already be in. I agree. I definitely agree with that. Clemens. I even think Rose should be in. What he did was as a manager, not as a player. So he's getting penalized for what he did years after he retired.
I'm not saying Pete Rose is a good guy.
No,
I don't even think Pete Rose
lied
would
about
say
it.
he's a good
If
guy.
he didn't lie about it, he would have been in.
We could talk for a whole hour on the Pete Rose thing. All 3 of us probably, I guarantee it. But
yeah,
it's dumb. It's a dumb argument. It is a self-indulgent argument. And I don't know. It's hard for me. It was hard for me to make the list and not get worked up, I got to be honest. But if I'm going, you want me to name the name that somebody who's just not talked about that should be in the Hall of Fame? Is that what you're going for here?
Wait till we're done with the list here, and then correct me if I'm wrong. Any players you want to add? All right, we'll go to my next one here. My next one is not because he was a Philly. He played with other teams too, but Dick Allen. He was a 1964 Rookie of the Year. He was an all-star in the American League after he had left the Phillies. And at the time when he retired, he had one of the highest, I think he was in the top 15 all-time in the career slugging percentage, and he led the AL in homers twice. And they say the biggest rap for him that he didn't get in because he wasn't a team player, he was a cancer in the locker room. But then I've read articles in the last, maybe 5, 6, 7 years where they went back and interviewed some players that he played with in the minor leagues and in the pros, and they said, he just didn't get along with the writers, and that was 90% of it because he was a good guy in the locker room.
The writers have too much power.
Yeah, exactly.
I 100% agree. It's insane. And I'll give my 2 cents in on the writers and the steroids and Shoeless Joe when my dad's done with his 5 that should have missed the Hall of Fame. Just like I know, Jeff, you're going to have guys that you think should have got in. I'll give my 2 cents at the end, but yeah, the writers have way too much power, and you could tell some of them have never played a game of baseball in their entire life. and they're voting on who should get in the Hall of Fame. To me, that blows my mind. But I'll wait till the end. I digress.
Yeah. All right,
No,
we'll go on to the next one. It's a
totally.
shame my buddy Mick isn't in the chat tonight because I know he would approve of this one. Next one up is Dale Murphy. He played with a few teams. He played with the Phillies for a bulk of his career and the Braves, and he was a two-time NL MVP 2 years in a row. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think that's only been done maybe 3 times total where a player's won 2 years in a row. He was a 7-time All-Star, 5 Gold Gloves, 4 Silver Sluggers. He led the NL in homers 2 times and led the NL in RBIs 2 times. And he was a great outfielder. I mean, he was a class guy. And granted, the Hall of Fame shouldn't have anything to do with the type of person you are. It should all be how you played on the field. But he was, for a 10, 12-year stretch, there wasn't a better player than Dale Murphy. Now, they say the knock on him, he really tailed off the last few years of his career. Well, if you play 15, 17 years and you've had some injuries over the years, yeah, you're going to get that. But to me, I always thought it was if you were the best of your generation. Well, if you play a 10-year season, to me in baseball, that's a generation, a 10-year career.
Totally agree.
Your best 10 years. And there wasn't a more feared hitter in the National League at the time than Dale Murphy.
He was the best player in the league on below average teams. There was no reason to pitch to him, and he still was the best player in the league for 2 straight years. He was absolutely a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer. I mean, if Sandy Koufax a Hall of Famer, and he clearly is, Sandy Koufax had a very short elite time. I'm not saying Dale Murphy was as good as Sandy Koufax. That's a ship that doesn't get there. But Dale Murphy was the best in the game 2 years straight. And I don't know that's enough, but I think he's a Hall of Famer. I do.
All right.
Should have been.
We'll move on to my next one here. We have 2 left, and I'm sure you'll appreciate this one, Jeff. Steve Garvey. 8 straight All-Star appearances, 10 overall. 1974 NL MVP. He was a 2-time NLCS MVP. Now, this is the one that really blew me away, the stat that I didn't know. I mean, he was considered a power guy. He was a pretty big guy. But 6 times he won over 200 hits in a season. That really blew me away, that one stat there. And then he had 4 Gold Gloves. And hey, talk about clutch. And 55 postseason games, a .338 average with 11 home runs. And then, of course, his National League record, I believe, still stands, at 1,207 games that he played consecutive.
I agree. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer. It's interesting you said he was a power hitter. He wasn't a power hitter. He just hit home runs. He was a line drive hitter in the hardest National League park to hit home runs. All the games, all the seasons, 200 hits. The best hitter in the best lineup or the second best lineup for a generation. He made the All-Star team. He got voted in to the All-Star team, and he wasn't even on the ballot in '74. He won and by the way, the Gold Gloves, he had 4 Gold Gloves. He won Gold Gloves in the era that potentially the greatest defensive first baseman the game has ever seen played, Keith Hernandez. Keith Hernandez got all the Gold Gloves that Garvey would have got had they not had the greatest fielding first baseman, arguably, ever.
Yep.
So, and the All-Star games and the World Series and Mr. Clean and Mr. Dodger, and I can talk about this for 5 hours.
Now, Bill might know this. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't even think they say Mike Trout's the greatest player in the game right now. I don't think he has a 200-hit season yet.
I don't know.
If he did, maybe one. But I mean, for 6
I
times, 200 hits, that's not easy to get to. Now, granted, he played almost every game, obviously, because of his streak of consecutive games played. But some players only get in their career maybe once, twice tops. They'll get 200 hits in a season, 6 times.
Yeah, the only other one I could think of would be Ichiro, and he did that long after he came over to the States, and that's
he had the record. I think it was 234 or 230 something. He broke, what was it, Sisler's record about 10, 12 years ago, maybe a little more.
Yeah, what a lot of people don't realize about him is he could hit a lot more home runs if he wasn't just trying to get on base. Like, he actually had some pop, too. let alone, he also had a cannon from right field, but like that was a guy who could play into his 40s and still hit 200 games, have 200 hit season. Like that's
he can play now. He's unbelievable.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I was going to post it on the Facebook page. There's a video floating around now on Facebook and on Instagram of Ichiro, and I don't know how far the bats are away. They're maybe 25, 30 feet away from him, and he's got bats standing up on the barrel up. And somebody's tossing him a ball, and he just throws like 5 balls right in a row. Bing, 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 knocks all the bats down. I mean, he's got an accurate cannon.
As good as he is, he's insanely underrated. That guy's skills are, like, if there's an alien among us, it's him. He's amazing.
Well, he wasn't on my list because he hasn't come up for a vote yet, but he's a first ballot, so we don't have to worry about him. All right, my last one here. And this guy here was really controversial during his playing career. And again, because the writers don't like him, he'll get screwed. And that's Albert Bell. This one stat down here a little bit further down has really got me. But 9 straight 100 RBI seasons, 30 home runs or more 8 straight years, 50 home runs in 1 year in 95. This is the one that got me. Over his 12-year career, his 162-game average, 40 home runs and 130 RBIs. His .564 slugging percentage is 14th all time. Like, there's only 13 guys better in the history of baseball with a slugging percentage better than him. And because because he wasn't liked by the writers and he wasn't a good guy, like Ty Cobb wasn't a good guy. He's a Hall of Famer.
My 2 favorite things about Albert Bell. Number 1, he leads the Major League history in destroying Fernando Viñas. That was a hilarious. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just look it up on YouTube. And he was hit by a pitch against, it doesn't matter who it was, and he refused to go to first. And no, you take your base. He said, no, I didn't get hit. Everybody saw him get hit. He said, no, I'm swinging. And watch that on YouTube. And if you watch that and you don't love Albert Bell, we can't be friends. I love Albert Bell. He's not on my team. He was never on my team. I love it when they were yelling. He's talking about he's talking about cork, and he's showing his arms. If I was that Studley, that's who I would want to be. And I know that probably makes people think I'm not as nice as maybe people think I am, but I'm not as nice as people think I am. Albert Bell, I love to watch him play. I felt bad for Fernando Viñas, face and body and ancestors and everything because it must have hurt. But there's so many Albert Bell stories that I would take him on my team any day. And oh my gosh, did he produce.
Yeah, I mean, his career did cut short. He had the bad hip. But, I mean, if you look at that 12 years, 130 RBIs and 40 homers, that's insane. I mean, players would be happy to have 1 or 2 years that in their career, not average. What do you think, Bill?
Yeah, Albert Bell is one of those guys that should 100% in my mind be in the Hall of Fame along with Steve Garvey. Like, there's no question about it. You can't put up those numbers for as long as you did and not make it. There's you must have pissed some writers off along the way. This is kind of part of my writer's rant as well. Like, some of these guys, you can tell that when there was a pickup game happening when they were kids, they were the last on the bench and they got chosen to be the umpire. Like, it doesn't make any sense to why these guys aren't voting these dudes other because, the only fact
they're still mad at the high school. They're still mad at the high school coach that cut them. Yes, I totally agree.
It just
couldn't get paid. Couldn't get paid to be a bat boy. You know how hard? I have written for two newspapers paid me to write sports articles. 2. You know what? Experience I had? Hey, I'll do that. That's the experience I had. Okay, 2 different paid me. So if you're a baseball writer, you know what that means? You're not dead. That's what that means. It doesn't mean you have expertise. Matter of fact, some of them prove the vast opposite of they know what the heck they're doing. Now, there's some great ones, but why we're picking them? Why did it be the Hall of Famers? How about that? Let the Hall of Famers vote for the Hall of Fame. How about that?
I would agree with that more than having the writers do it because, I mean, Derek Jeter just got elected in, and there was one guy, one vote that didn't elect him to the Hall of Fame, and he was for the Boston Globe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure he worked for the Boston Globe. And he's the only person that didn't elect Derek Jeter to the Hall of Fame, and he would have joined Mariano with the unanimous election. Like, that doesn't make sense.
How dumb is it? How dumb is it that there's so... I can name 100 ball players that should be unanimous Hall of Famers. There's the argument right there for why writers shouldn't be voting for the Hall of Fame. That whole unanimous thing. By the way, why is Larry Walker a Hall of Famer this year on your ballot, but he wasn't the last 5 years? I mean, unless there was just 10 guys every year that were better, which is not the case. If you voted for 4 last year and Larry Walker wasn't on your ballot, but then this year you vote for him, you're just a jerk. Because what changed?
Their biggest thing with him,
Nothing.
he played a majority of his career towards the end in Coors Field. But
my point is, But my point is, that's stupid, and that's a whole argument too. But my point is this: if you think 1 year later now I'll vote for him, the career's the career. What did you learn something new?
Well, like you said, I can see if there's a logjam. But for a while here, we've had we had a couple years where not too long ago that the players didn't even get voted in. From the regular, it was from the old timers committee that got in.
Yep.
But the Walker, that's just crazy. If you look at his career, he hit just as well away from Coors Field as he did there. So take that and throw it out.
I totally agree with that. But my point is the stupidity that is the Baseball Writers Association of America and their whole, we're going to be they're like the defenders of the Hall of Fame or some stupidity. I hate it. Yeah. I love the Hall of Fame. I want to be in the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame is at risk of being so stupid that they become irrelevant. I mean, we could make a better Hall of Fame with just a bunch of YouTubers talking about it. I mean, it's just dumb.
Yep. And like I said, that's always... I went to the Baseball Writers website the one time and read their thing on the voting for the MVP. And their big thing was, like I said, every year, the players... Well, he was on a losing team. He wasn't on a winning team. Nowhere in their thing for voting does it say he has to be on a winning team. It's the most valuable player. Well, they're saying you can only be valuable if you're on a winning team. Yeah, you might.
I mean, I think it's a poorly named
without
award.
you. But if you got a guy who's got 40 home runs and 130 RBIs, and you got 15 or 20 RBIs less and 10 home runs less, you deserve to be the MVP because you were on the winning team. That's just BS.
It's dumb. You're totally right.
Yeah,
it's a poorly named award.
My little rant. Yeah. I think that the MVP should be the guy who could go to any team and be the star no matter what team he was on in that particular season. AL, NL, doesn't matter. If you put up those numbers, you could go in and take the starting spot of whatever position you play at in any team, whether or not you didn't make the playoffs or the World Series team. If you go to that World Series team and be the starter in that position and blow everybody else on the team out of the water, you're the MVP of that league. That should be no question. It should have nothing to do with whether you made the playoffs, won the World Series, none of that. It should be how you did as an individual because it's most valuable player, not most valuable team.
Yeah.
You're totally right. I totally agree.
Go ahead, Jeff.
No, yeah, I would just... What you said. I totally agree.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, Rally Creative Travel, he must have stepped out for a little bit. But Dick Allen was one of my 5, and I totally agree with you. He should be in the Hall of Fame. Next year
Jeff,
should be interesting.
Who do you dislike more?
Next year we come back around to them guys for the old timers voting in, and I think Dick Allen will come up again next year to possibly be voted in for 2021.
Yeah, that's cool. This is a good time to answer Movie Mania Nick's question. He's got a question for me. Nick says, so who do you dislike more, the writers or the umpires? It's not even close. The umpires. Get off my field. The writers can, I don't mind. Go write for the Hoboken Press or the Riverside Journal. What do I care? But I like writers. I love baseball. I don't mind bloggers. I don't mind writers. I love some baseball writers. I don't like the process of them having a vote for the Hall of Fame. I read more baseball writers on a daily basis than I do, Shakespeare. I mean, come on, I love baseball writers. I don't love their holier-than-thou BS as it relates to my favorite sports Hall of Fame. Umpires, get off my field.
Yeah. So I think we're moving towards an era to where there's so many reviews and challenges that we're getting close to a point in baseball where they're not even going to have anybody on the field but the players, and it's just going to be the scoreboard be like, yep, that was a strike, or yep, he was safe or out.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Sign me
it's
up.
going to turn completely automated. And
somebody tell me what's wrong with that.
Yeah,
because there's no argument other than, oh, I don't like it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I don't like the
looking
call.
At you, Bill Senior.
That's not, to me, that's not baseball. That's not. Why don't you just put robots in the field to play too then?
Well, yeah, that's the whole argument there. But
no, it's not. I can destroy that argument. You want no? That we need to have
just
that.
Because you guys, you whiny, you cry. You probably didn't get your pitches when you were a kid. Mr. Umpire, that was a strike. Get out of here, kid.
No, hold on. Here's my whole argument against that. Look at that perfect game that was thrown away because the guy was out by a step.
Thank you.
A full step, not a half step. He was out by a full step, and he called him safe, and there goes Hernandez's perfect game.
And the playoffs in '85, the Cardinal Royals, and come on.
You can go back all the way to the 1800s. I'm sure it was the same way all the way back then.
Doesn't have to be.
Yeah, not now. With the technology we have, it doesn't have to be.
Exactly. And we have this 20-minute review. Everybody goes and gets, a 400 minutes worth of nothingness while they try to keep us not turning the channel while they try to figure out something that everybody already saw.
They're making their dinner reservations for after the game. That's what's taking them so long there. I mean, when we can see 9 out of 10 of the replays in front of us on TV.
Exactly.
There are some that are really close, but at least 8 out of 10 of them, they're not even close.
You know how long here's how that should go. If it's really close, what the umpire said. But we don't even need to have that because we have the technology that can say, strike, safe. I mean, this is dumb. This is dumb.
I mean, they could knock this whole thing down. They got the guy in New York. He should already be looking at the play. When they come over, they said, yeah, guy, he was safe. He wasn't out. He was safe. I mean, that should be the end of it. It should be a 10-second thing.
There can be a guy up there sitting next to where Vin Scully sits, and anytime there's an argument, hey, yeah, I saw that really clear. Oh, no, okay, call New York. All right, boom. Less than a minute. I mean, come on. Get Elon Musk on this. We'll be done with it in 20 seconds.
Well, so
or he could put the umpires in one of those cars when he sends it out into space.
Yes, please.
So the XFL, when they came out this year, and believe me, I'm pretty sure they're bankrupt now, but their review system for reviewing plays, they had a guy up in the booth next to the announcers, like you were saying, Jeff, and he would look at the play for max 2 minutes and be like, yeah, that was a completed pass. Oh, mark the ball here. That would be the longest part of their conversation with the umpires and the referees, where this is where you mark the ball, this is where the clock resets, and that's it. But in baseball, you'd be like, yeah, he was safe, and you'd be like, all right, sounds good, safe. Yeah, and that should be the end of it. Like, there should be a guy up in the booth right there reviewing 6 different angles from all the cameras that they had. Be like, yeah, you were wrong. He was safe. All right, sounds good.
Don't need anybody on the field to do it. No, nobody.
Nope. Yeah.
Do we need
technology?
It's like tennis. You guys watch tennis? You got a ball boy, and you got a ball boy, and you got a guy on this line and a guy on that line, and they're not even there. Just put a cheerleader there. I mean, what are we doing? It's so stupid. We can see it. The technology's there. Baseball should move into the 80s. And yes, I said that on purpose.
Yeah, I know. When I brought up about, having completely automated umpires in baseball, my dad made the comment about arguing about balls and strikes. It's because I was the most picky hitter in the history of the world. I was the most umpire-unfriendly hitter ever. I would strike out. I wouldn't swing. I'd strike out, and I'd come back and I'm like, Dad, that ball was about this far outside and this far low with a strike zone. And he'd be like, just swing the bat, kid. You're 11. I'm like, no, it wasn't a strike. I'm not swinging. That's it. I can't hit it. I'm not going to swing.
He turned around to an umpire one time. He said, sir, that ball was that far outside. Or
something like that. I was about, it was maybe 3 inches outside. I'm like, it was this far outside. The guy threw me. I'm like, whatever. It's still a ball. And I left.
I would just mark the line. I would just mark the line as I walked away. I guess
before, and I held up my fingers like this. I'm like, it was that far outside at my belt. And he goes, you're wrong. You're out of here.
I never got kicked out. I wanted to be able to communicate with the umps in a way that they couldn't be. I don't know. I learned this early. I didn't want the fans. I didn't want my mom. I didn't want whoever was watching me to know I was arguing with the ump. But I wanted the ump to know. And, whether it was high school or whatever level I played at, they usually seemed pretty cool about it as long as you weren't, being a prick. Can I say that?
It depended on who the umpire was. Like, if you had a history with the guy and he was a notoriously bad ump, then yeah, that was the same guy. Like, I've had instances with him where it was just not even close. Like, the ball was at my ankles and he called me, out on strike 3. So that's, it's turned around. I'm like, it was that far outside, Blue. And he tossed me. I'm like, yeah, whatever, you're a terrible umpire, and I left. Like, I did that up until I stopped playing.
I think that at the lower level, we should have umpires, by the way, just in case anyone thinks I'm a lunatic. I don't think that 9-year-olds shouldn't have an umpire. That's not what I'm saying. And we're not going to have the technology in every, field on the land. But I'm talking about Major League Baseball here, obviously. Yeah. And it should be fan-friendly, and I would like it to make more money, not less, all the things.
Unfortunately, I think you're right. Eventually, it'll probably come to that, but I'm a baseball purist. You gotta have something to argue about.
I
am too. Well, I feel you, but with how many different reviews and like what is reviewable and what isn't reviewable, like, come on, you either make everything reviewable or you don't. It's like the situation now: open everything up or not. We're sick of this. Like, I can't remember all these rule changes every year. Like, it's just getting out of hand.
It's stupid. Old crusty dudes making rules.
Bill had one more thing he wanted to bring up before we get into our trivia here, and he says he did some investigating, and this should be pretty good. Go ahead, Bill.
All right, so I kind of have two things, but they'll be kind of quick. First one is, did you guys see the Nationals World Series ring just got unveiled?
I think I saw it. Yeah, I saw your dad posted it. That's where I saw it for the first time, I think.
Yeah, that's a sharp-looking ring.
Yeah, I want to.
I saw something about the amount of stones that was put in it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a couple more looks at this, and I got digging, and it's just absurd with how they came up with these numbers. I'm just gonna read this out. In total, the ring features an average of 170 diamonds, 32 custom cut sapphires, 31 custom cut rubies, 24 princess cut rubies for an impressive total of 23.3 carats. Like, that's everything. Now, the top of the ring has the W, obviously the Nationals W, made from 30 custom cut rubies, representing the 30 runs the team scored in the 4 World Series games, which they won. I mean, that's not too much of a stretch, but 1 second, here we go. Let me just, I feel like my dad. I need to put like bifocals on real quick to like zoom in on this. Sorry, I had to put a little jab at you.
You're lucky you're 1,200 miles away, kid. That's backhand material.
Well, I don't know how much you fly. You might be able to get a $9 flight and come see me tomorrow and meet me out on the golf course. And all right, so above the logos are the world's world champions set over the ring with the 2 custom cut sapphires. This number represents the sum total of the team's 2019 walk-off wins, which is 7, 13 shutout wins, and their longest winning streak, which is 8. Okay, here's my thing. Who the hell did they designate to come up with these numbers? Like, hey, this is our first World Series. I want you to add up the most ridiculous stats from this season together and make that into how many sapphires and rubies we have in the ring. Like, for me, they had, 105 postseason and regular season wins to get the World Series? Bam, that's how many stones are in it. And then put the trophy on the back with the logo. That's it.
Junior, I don't know. I don't know if you're a Democrat. I don't know if you're a Republican. I don't care. I would vote for you. You have earned my vote on everything just on this show alone. Yes. What he said. Somebody drop a mic. Yeah.
How about just say because it looked good? Who cares how many stones on it? And supposedly there were Jostens' original sketch that they gave to Washington. I'd like to see what that looked like because they flat turned it down and they had to come up with a new design.
Well, it does look cool.
Yeah, but it is a good looking ring.
All that silliness is. I mean, is there somebody counting and checking it? Like, maybe they're punking us, right? I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, and then they even have in there plus 4 more sapphires for the world champions because that's how many playoff rounds they won.
That's dumb. That's dumb.
Yeah, and then they have the 105 regular season and postseason wins, plus 1 diamond for the amount of World Series championships that they've won, which is 1. And they have another 2 to make it a rounded 108 because they were the Expos and the Nationals. They were 2 different teams. Like, this, I'm reading this and I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Like,
so I can't stand symbolism.
It, man.
Yes. How much time? Yeah, right. Like, they're hurting for money. Some dude got paid to come up with all that silliness. Whatever. I hate symbolism with a passion.
It's just to keep the guy off unemployment.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff. They're made right up the street from you, aren't they? In Johnston's located right outside of the Dallas area.
Oh, yeah, I think so. I wouldn't swear to it, but as you say that, well, I'll look it up. As you say that, I think that's the thing.
I'm pretty sure they're somewhere out just outside of Dallas.
So while you look that up, I'll get into my second topic, which is
no.
I was going to talk about the top 10 Hall of Famers, but then my dad was talking about it, so I wanted to get into like a more specific stat, and it kind of turned into like a questionnaire almost. Like, okay, so do you know the stolen base leaders at every position? There's one you're definitely going to know. I took this quiz earlier today from the MLB. Yeah, there's definitely one you're going to know. It's left field. And I got 4 out of 10, and a couple of them were pretty hard. So I'm just going to...
So not outfield, but left, center, right? Oh, I want to play that. Let's do this.
Yep, okay. So, number 1. Who's the stolen base leader among catchers?
Okay.
So I'll give you 4. Carlton Fisk,
good.
Jason Kendall, Ivan Rodriguez, or Brad Ausmus.
Oh, I'll go with Kendall.
I'm just going to say Kendall or Ausmus.
So it is Jason Kendall. So it says Hall of Famer Roger Brenshaw, who debuted August 27th, 1897, is the all-time leader among catchers with 212 stolen bases. But Kendall's 189 are the most by any backstop who debuted within the last 100 years.
Very cool.
So I guess
he had a couple of years, yeah. His dad, Freddie Kendall, was a Padre, so yeah. Cool, I like this. Let's go. I like it.
All right. Number 2. Who's the stolen base leader among first basemen? Orlando Cepeda, Andres Galarraga, Jeff Bagwell, or Dan Dreisen?
Not even sure.
You want to go first?
Tim Pruitt to answer your question. No, this is just something Bill came up. The official trivia is coming up.
Yeah, this is the official trivia. This is a quiz I took on MLB.TV today, and I was kind of like, this should be something cool to be on the show.
I'll take it's Dan Dreesen. I'll take Dreesen. Big Red Machine. I don't know. That's a hard one. They're all hard.
Well, who is it?
You got anything, Dad?
No.
Okay. He's looking up on Google.
It's Jeff. No, he's looking up. He's trying to get the...
He's looking over there. I thought that at first. I thought,
So it says here on MLB TV, Bagwell is 10th in the all-time stolen base record amongst first baseman with 202 career steals, but the 9 players ahead of him, including Hall of Famer Frank Chance and George Sisler, all debuted prior to 1920, so before the modern era.
Cool. Do you see Rowley in the chat knows Dan Dreesen? So I wasn't a fan of Dan Dreesen, because the Dodgers and the Reds were the 2 best teams there for a while. I wasn't a fan of him, but I loved him. First baseman on, Morgan at second, Concepcion at short, Rose all over the place, but at third in that time. But Dreesen was a stud, underrated stud on the Big Red Machine. I was a fan, I guess. Good stuff. Damn, Rowley, we need to get him on the show. Very cool. I hope he's a nice guy.
Number 3. Who is the stolen base leader among second basemen? Roberto Alomar, Davey Lopes, Delano DeShields, or Joe Morgan?
Davey Lopes.
Oh, man. Oh, I think
This is actually one of the ones I got correct earlier. Out of my 4 out of 10, this is one of the ones I got right.
Give me the 4 again.
Roberto Alomar, Davey Lopes, Delano DeShields, or Joe Morgan?
I think it's Morgan.
It is Joe Morgan. He stole 689 bases during his career, giving him 132 more than any other second baseman to debut over the last century. Lopes is second with 557.
Yeah, good stuff. I love this. This is fun. Keep going.
All right, who is the stolen base leader among third basemen? Chipper Jones, David Wright, Howard Johnson, or Mike Schmidt?
Oh, man. Okay. Schmidt, Hojo. Who are the first two? Give me the first two again.
Chipper and D. Wright.
Ooh, Wright still.
I'd say it's Chipper or Howard Johnson.
I'm going to go with Hojo. He had a couple 30 years. I'm going to go with Howard Johnson.
It is Hojo, who finished his career with 231 stolen bases, had 6 consecutive 20-steal seasons for the Mets from 87 and 92, and it's highlighted by his 41 steal campaign in 89.
He was a beast in fantasy baseball back in the day.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, so now shortstops. This is
okay.
Bert Campaneris, Jose Reyes, Ozzie Smith. Oh, yeah, I was saying that as you were saying Campaneris. Ozzie Smith or Jimmy Rollins. So Campaneris, Reyes, Smith, or Rollins.
Campaneris used to be quick, so
I think it's Bert Campaneris too. He had a long career. I'm going to go with Bert Campaneris.
I'm going to go with Rollins. Right. Okay,
no.
I was going to go with Rollins because he stole quite a lot of bases.
You went against your gut on that one.
Always go with
649 steals over 19 years that included 6 All-Star selections, 3 World Series titles. One of those steals came on September 8th, 65, the same day he became the first player to play all 9 positions in one game.
Yes. Very cool. I love this stuff. I could do this all day.
Stat,
I don't know if anybody would watch this, but I would do this all day.
That's a crazy stat.
Yeah,
all right, left fielder. Here we go. This should be the no-brainer. Lou Brock, Ricky Henderson, Tim Raines, or Vince Coleman.
Which is crazy. It's the guy's second all-time is not the right answer. Obviously, it's Ricky Henderson.
Yeah, obviously. So, he had 1,406 career stolen bases, but no player has ever reached the 1,000 steal plateau. And, if you look at the chart, I looked at it a couple days ago. It was kind of just like a rocket chart. And Ricky Henderson was up here, and number 2 was down here. And then everybody else was...
He's up on Mount Rushmore. The other ones are in the souvenir stand at the bottom of the mountain.
It's just nuts, man. It's like... I can't even explain it. It's crazy. All right, so here we go. Center fielders. Kenny Lofton, Otis Nixon, Willie Wilson, or Ken Griffey Jr.?
Lofton, Nixon, Griffey. Who was the other one?
Willie Wilson.
It's Lofton. It's Kenny Lofton.
I'll go with Otis Nixon.
So all 3 of us are wrong. It's Willie Wilson. He stole at least 20 bases a year from 78 to 92, making him just one of 5 players in MLB history with 15 straight seasons of 20 stolen bases. Ty Cobb had 897 steals, who debuted in 1905, is the overall leader among center fielders, but since it was before that 1920 era.
And he was probably the biggest of all the guys that you mentioned, too. The other guys all weren't that big, and he was probably the biggest guy, too.
I mentioned earlier, if aliens were among us, that is nuts. Otis Nixon is probably the scariest looking guy ever to play baseball. I'm pretty sure he's a monster. All right, that's a whole other thing.
Okay.
Sorry, Mr. Nixon, if you're listening.
This is a good one. This might be a little tough. All right, right fielders.
Okay.
Bobby Bonds, Ichiro, Bobby Abreu, or Tony Gwynn?
Oh. Wow. Okay.
I'll say Abreu.
A bunch. He's a lot. Bonds, Abreu, Gwynn stole a bunch too. Who's the other one? Oh my gosh, Ichiro.
Who'd you say, Dad? Abreu?
Your dad might be right, but I'm going to say Gwynn.
You're both wrong. It's Ichiro.
What? I didn't think so, really.
Yep. When he came up into the league in 2001, he stole 56 bases, which won him the AL Rookie of the Year and the MVP award. And then he went on to steal at least 25 bags in each of his first 12 seasons, and we're out to 509 career steals.
Think about that. And the dude played his best years in Japan before he even got here.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
How about, did they list it for pitchers?
I'm getting there. So the next 2 are designated hitters and pitchers.
Ooh, I like it.
All right, so DH, Edgar Martinez, Shohei Ohtani, David Ortiz, or Hal McRae?
Oh, Hal McRae for sure. Hal McRae.
Who were the
Is
other
that your
three
answer,
again, Bill?
Dad?
Who were the other three?
Edgar Martinez, Shohei Ohtani, which doesn't even make sense. He hasn't been in the league that long.
Oh.
And David Ortiz, which also doesn't make sense.
No. Yeah. I hate to say this, but what Jeff said.
Yeah, it's Hal McRae. 109 stolen bases over 19 years, but Ohtani could eventually make a run at the mark after stealing 22 bags in his first 2 seasons, being limited, to 210 games. So it's Hal
What's
McRae
McRae's
right now.
number? What's McRae's number?
109.
Oh, huh. Interesting.
It's pretty good considering he's a first baseman. He's a big, clunky guy that's only known for hitting bombs like that position. So that's not
Crazy.
bad.
Just answer me this though, before you get into the pitchers. Is it in double digits?
The
all-time
pitchers?
the all-time leading pitcher
boy.
with steals?
Absolutely not.
No, I didn't think
Absolutely not. Oh, okay.
Not even close. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so here's your 4 choices with pitchers. Bob Gibson, Greg Maddux, Zach Greinke, or Oral Hershiser.
Go ahead, Bill Senior.
Yeah. I was thinking Greinke, but I'm no. Hershiser's a good possibility, but didn't watch a lot of Dodgers games. What were the other two, Bill?
Me either, I swear.
It's Maddux and Gibson.
Those are 4 stud athletes. All could hit. That's interesting. Interesting.
All right.
yeah.
And they're all national leaguers, right? So so they had a bat and be on the bases.
I mean, Greinke started out in the AL, but
yeah. So just for that reason, I'm going to say it's not Greinke.
well,
I'll
he
go
was
with
the
Greg
Angels too.
Maddux.
So I like
Yeah.
all 4 of them, but I'm gonna go with Oral. Or I love. By the way, my second favorite player of all time after Garvey, Oral Hershiser. I think Oral. He was scrappy, man. He was always going for an edge. I bet it was Oral.
You're both wrong.
Ah!
It was Bob Gibson.
Ah.
He stole 13 bags during his Hall of Fame career, one more than 4-time All-Star Rip Sewell. Maddux is next on the list at 3rd with 11, and Greinke, he leads all active pitchers with 9.
Okay, so Bill, when that question I asked you before, if
double
career
digits.
total was double digits, that would go to
Double
there.
all.
Like more than
No, that
9
would
is
be
double
double.
digits, Bill. Okay, that's why you're
I
in
was
the Army.
thinking, I don't know why. I saw 109 from McRae, and I was
You were thinking triple digits.
Over 100. Yeah, I got you. No, it's not even close.
Yeah.
That's so fun. I love that
So
kind of
I-
trivia. That was fun.
All right.
Yeah, I was good.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I took that quiz. I was like, this would be fun to do on the show tonight. Like,
I'm
I
glad
only
you
knew
did.
4 out of 10. This is pretty cool.
Those were hard. I don't know how did we do. I wasn't counting, but not that good.
I know I didn't do too good.
It was about the same that I about 4 out of 10. Like, some of them were, especially when it got down to like DH and the pitchers. Well, the DH you could kind of deduce who wasn't the stolen base leader, being
Ortiz.
Big Papi, and Shohei Ohtani because he's only been in the league for a couple years. But
And 1 year he didn't play but half the season. So yeah,
exactly.
that was easy.
So
Dan Dreesen,
yeah,
he
right
owns
here.
a dump truck company. Says, Rally, let's get Dan Dreesen on the show. That would be cool. That would be a lot of
that
fun.
would be sweet.
All right.
He was stud. First baseman, big left-handed power hitter, a lot of doubles, great lineup.
Are
Good
you
stuff,
ready
good
to
stuff.
stretch out your lead tonight, Bill?
I'm not. I'm losing, so I'm not ready. All right, now I am.
I got my numbers. I'm getting my numbers ready to
Oh,
go.
yeah.
I got them saved from the last 2 times.
I threw you
I
off
don't
this
think
week. They're A,
my
B, C, and D.
Maybe. Oh shit! I gotta get it.
I just
No,
write down the
I'm-
name anyway.
I'm
So.
kidding you.
Give me like 20 minutes and I'll get these 4 letters together.
All right, I'm just gonna write the names anyway because I don't listen to his numbers. I listen to the names. So, all right, I'm down by like 37, right?
3.
I think it's
All right,
So
here, let
8 or
me
something.
hold on 1 second.
So, chat, feel free to. I'll give out my phone number. You guys can text me. No, I'm just kidding. And guys, if you're in chat, thanks for hanging out with us. This is a lot of fun. I hope you're having a good time. I'm having a good time. Let's do this.
All right, let me
Oh,
just
what's
make sure
the other-
you guys can hear
what's
me,
the other-
right? My audio's still on. You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Question number 1. The Brooklyn Dodgers nickname originally referred to dodging 1, the police, number 2, horse droppings, 3, bullets, or 4, trolleys. That's how the Dodgers got their name.
Say when.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
It's small. I can't. Trolleys. You're both right.
Yep. That was an easy one.
I'll write it bigger.
That was an easy one. They're going to get harder.
Yeah, I need him harder.
Yeah,
I need
like
him to miss some.
North of the Mason-Dixon line in the American League, led the league in home runs in the last 10 years.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys were
like
watching Steve's World stream on last night, and he had Joey from Joey's World on. My boy Joey, man, he's serious. He's the stat master.
Joey, I didn't see it. Joey rocks, so I love Joey.
So I threw a trivia question in there for him for Steve to give to him. I asked, when Bobby Thompson hit the home run to win the National League pennant, who was on deck for the Giants? He was right on it with Willie Mays. Well, let me.
Yep. Yeah, Joey knows his stuff. He's a sports nut.
Before we get to the next question, what's that field in the background?
That's Doubleday.
That looks. That's what I was gonna say. It looks like Doubleday, but for this angle, it was weird because my picture's blocking it, where that CVS is that you hit your home run at, and I had to run into the parking lot to get the home run ball. Plus the ointment and the ace bandage when you tore your Achilles, so that was probably why I didn't know what it was.
The CVS was behind home plate. There was a church out there in left field.
The CVS behind Jeff.
Yeah. Hold on a minute.
That's what it was. There was a church.
Your audio will
Nick
go out for a
shot
second. I'll just flash the picture up real quick. There you go. All right, we'll move into question number.
Casey says we should have Joey on. I agree. I love Joey. We should talk to him.
Oh, I'm telling you, my man knows his trivia. That's for sure. All right, here we go. Question number 2. What MLB player holds the record for most consecutive games with a strikeout? Aaron Judge, Chili Davis, Babe Ruth, or Reggie Jackson? Holds the record for the most consecutive games with a strikeout.
I think I'm going to get this one wrong, but it's a very good guess.
I'm rooting for you to get it wrong because I'm losing.
Bill, you got it right. Aaron Judge in 2017.
Okay.
He, what is it? 37 consecutive games through July and August.
Wow.
With a strikeout. 37 straight games.
Wow.
That's where my mind went a couple years ago, where he struck out so many times. It blew my mind because I don't know why you're even worried about his home runs and RBIs when this guy is striking out 300 times in a month.
That's
it doesn't make sense. Oh, man.
Wow. The game has changed. I went with Chili Davis because which one didn't belong on that list? My goodness.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, no.
All right. We're going to move into number 3.
Movie Mania, Nick. Me and you, buddy. We missed it.
Here we go. Question number 3. Who was the first baseball player to appear on the Wheaties box? Babe Ruth, Joe DiMaggio, Lou Gehrig, or Mel Ott?
This is a tough one.
I mean, they're all tough for me. I'm down by 3.
First player to appear on a Wheaties box. Ruth, DiMaggio, Gehrig, or Mel Ott? Actually,
Yep,
Jeff, you're down by 4, but, All right. Hold on.
Math is hard.
I'm going with Lou.
Bill's right. Lou Gehrig, 1934. Lou Gehrig not only won the Triple Crown, but he appeared on the first Wheaties box. He appeared on the back.
Bill's trivia better.
He appeared on the back and the front of the box.
It was a 50-50 split with me. I was like, do I go Joe D or Lou? And I was like, wait a minute, I bought my I bought my grandfather a Time magazine with the cover of Joe DiMaggio on it. So in my mind, I was like, that's not the answer. It's got to be Lou Gehrig.
You telling me why you got the points does not make me feel better. Just gonna throw that out there. By the way, your scoreboard's all jacked up down there. I don't know what it's doing.
It's starting to look like my electric meter outside in the summer with the air conditioner on high. All right, you guys ready for question number 4? Here we go.
I heard a rumor this one's worth 6 points. Just saying.
What did baseball player Herman Schaefer do on August 4th, 1911? He pitched from second base, caught his own fly ball, ran the bases backwards, or stole first base. Never heard of Herman Schaefer, but on August 4th, 1911, he either pitched from second base, caught his own fly ball, ran the bases backwards, or stole first base.
Okay, so this question reminds me of, I don't know if you guys have ever seen The Ridiculous Six, but it's a terrible Adam Sandler Netflix-only movie. But there was one sequence where they met up with Abner Doubleday, and he was explaining them the rules of baseball, but he was making it up on the fly.
I've seen this on YouTube. I didn't see the movie. I've seen it on YouTube. It's pretty dang funny.
That's all you need to see of the movie, though, is you just need to see that, 3-minute scene. And it's great. He's like, I thought you said 2 strikes and you were out. No, I know what I said. I said 3. I get 1 more.
It was great. It's totally worth watching. Okay. I love that thing.
Good answer.
What do you guys got?
So, this one's worth 6 points, right? That's what I heard.
I got pitch from second.
You're both wrong.
Oh, okay.
You're both wrong. On August 4th, 1911, in the bottom of 9th inning, Schaefer stole second, hoping to draw a throw and allow teammate Clyde Millen, who was on third base, the potential winning run.
Oh, I've heard this.
Hold on a minute. I just lost my question.
Then he ran back. The next pitch he ran back.
White Sox catcher Fred Payne didn't fall for it. However, so Schaefer, now on second, took his lead towards the first base side of the bag and promptly stole first on the next pitch.
I've heard that story. How can I know the story and still not get it right? What the heck?
It's because it's not logical, Jeff.
Because you can't steal first, and he didn't steal first. He just went backward. But okay,
that's like the kid when Bill played t-ball when he was younger. The kid hit the ball and ran to third base.
I love those kids.
So
I love those.
Every t-ball league across
I
the
blame
country.
That is the dad's fault 100%. That dad needs to be mocked and made fun of for the rest of his life. Not the kid, the dad.
One of the guys that I used to work with in the police department, his son was on Bill's t-ball team, and his dad was trying to get him back onto the field in the third inning. He was sitting in the dugout like this. He told his dad, "I'd rather die than play baseball."
Wow.
That's how much he did not like baseball.
That's funny.
I would be the dad that if my son ran to third base, I'd be like, "Hey, coach, you need to bench him." You're like, "He's in t-ball." I'm like, "Yeah, you need to bench him right now. You need to teach him a lesson."
See, once you're on the field, I just want him to have fun. And I only have 4 daughters, and unfortunately, they didn't want to play softball. They don't like sports like Dad likes sports. But once you're on the field, just have fun. But if I had a kid who wanted to know the game, he or she would know the game. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But my daughters, God's laughing the whole time. Here's a girl. And it's not like girls can't play. They just didn't want to. You sure? Baseball looks fun. Shut up, Dad. Okay.
All right. You ready to go down 6 here, Jeff? Or?
Oh, is this a 6-pointer? Yeah, okay. This is number 6. Good. 6-point question.
Here we go. Last question of the night. Who was the only Braves player to have played for the organization in all 3 cities it called home? So that would be Boston, Milwaukee, and Atlanta. Was it Bob Elliott, Warren Spahn, Eddie Matthews, or Hank Aaron? The only Braves player to play in all 3 cities that the Braves have played in.
Okay, just no pressure, Bill Jr., but I know this one 100% positive. And yeah, I'll say it's actually worth 20 points. That's what I heard. Okay. But I'll just take the 6.
Oh, it's a 5-run home run?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Yeah.
What do you got?
Yeah.
I can't. It looks like it says Eddie Matthews there, Jeff. Is that right? Yep. Okay.
Yeah, that's what it said.
Jeff is right.
I won't.
Jeff is right. Eddie Matthews. He played with the Braves their last season in Boston, their entire time in Milwaukee, and in their first season in Atlanta. Then he retired.
99.9% sure this is the only question I've got right that he didn't get right. Pretty sure. In 3 weeks or whatever we've been doing. I think
It's
so.
either dumb
Pretty
luck
sure.
or yeah, it was just dumb luck. Honestly, most of the ones that I can make.
We got Jeff finally in the double digits. So
Ouch.
Bill stretches out the lead to one more now. I was up 4 now on the total here.
Oh, this is fun. This is good.
Was that 5? Was that the last one?
That was the last one.
I think we need a recap.
Like
I think that.
tonight, though.
Oh, it's fun. I love it. I love it. I don't know if people are going to watch, but I'm going to have fun. I love. Why can't you just use the numbers? I hate rules, Stacy. It's like you don't even know me, Stacy. It's like we just met. You tell me to use numbers, and I'm not using numbers. Tell me to sit down, and I'm going to stand up. It's not hard to understand.
Yeah, stay inside for 2 months.
He's a
No, I don't
Cowboys
think I
fan,
will.
Stacey.
Not
That
a
says it all.
chance.
He's a Cowboys fan. It says it all.
Chargers fan who lives in Cowboy Land, but yeah, I'm cool. I mean, I always loved the cheerleaders, so it wasn't hard to move on to the team too. So
There you go. That's not a bad
I love
reason to take
Well, as bad as the
alternate
Chargers have
receivers.
been over the years, they still got the best alternate uniform in sports.
They do. The powder blues are the best unis in the history of sports, and it's not even close. And by the way, the second best are the Dodgers. Just saying.
No.
The home whites,
now.
yeah.
Hold on.
Dodger home whites.
Hold on. How can I put Jeff in timeout here? Hold on a minute. Oh, there he is. His
it?
audio's gone.
What was that ESPN show, like Part of the Interruption or whatever, where you mute them and they subtract points?
Yeah. Where's my
yeah.
clicker? The ding. Jeff would be down to minus.
We can
minus
totally
5.
do that.
That would be
Then
great.
then you can see all the words I know.
All right. Well, next week here, I'm going to see what era I'm going to go for questions for next week.
So I misunderstood. I thought you wanted us to have a list. That was your topic. I thought we were all supposed to have a topic. Or all supposed to talk about a topic.
Let's throw that in at the end.
No,
here.
no.
Anybody, who was that you had that wasn't on my list?
Gil Hodges is the name I would have said.
That was
much as I love
Yep.
Steve Garvey should be in the Hall, but honestly, Steve Garvey's not the greatest Dodgers first baseman not in the Hall of Fame. It's Gil Hodges. Gil Hodges didn't have big numbers. Gil Hodges was one of the best players, other than Roy Campanella and Duke Schneider, one of the key players on one of the best teams in the history of the Dodgers and the history of the National League. He was great. He was iconic, and he should be in the Hall of Fame.
And I think I read he was border. I was between him and Dick Allen, putting him in there. I think it said when he retired, he was 4th all time in the National League with home runs.
I don't know.
He has like 300 and some career home runs, and another one.
As a Dodger fan, he's an iconic Dodger. Like, I collect Dodgers cards. Some of the great Dodgers are on my wall. And Gil Hodges, how could I not have Gil Hodges on that list? It just. By the way, I bought a card on eBay. When eBay pays me, I get happy and I do things with it, and I did something fun, and I got a iconic Dodger rookie card on eBay. I won it last night. I'll show you guys next week.
Cool.
I'm excited about it.
Now, another Dodger that I thought about putting on my list, but then again, the baseball writers, he was a stats compiler because he played so many years, and that was Tommy John. I think he's
Tommy John should be in the Hall of Fame, yeah.
Wins. Yeah.
Hey, Tommy John should be in the Hall of Fame for having the surgery. I mean, Tommy John's really, it should be the Dr. Andrews surgery, should it not? But Tommy John, come on, he was great. 250 wins. I think he had 250 losses too. 20-something years of consistency. Great player. I loved Tommy John. That 77 World Series Dodger team, they lost to the Reggie Jackson Yankees, but they're my favorite all-time team. And he was a key part of it. He was great.
Yeah, I think he had more wins than that. I thought he was in the 280s.
Oh, I don't know. I'll look it up real fast. Tommy John, under
288.
Wow. See, there you go.
But he played over a lot of seasons. I think he played 26 seasons. He played from 1963 to 1988, but take out one season that he had his surgery.
Well, sir, I wonder if there was a name for that surgery.
Yeah, the ulnar collateral ligament surgery. That's all it was called at the time. But they're saying this thing with him because he played so many years. You're going to get that many wins if you play that many years. Well, see, there again, The baseball writers throwing crap into their voting that it doesn't say anywhere in the rules about that.
Look at that.
Pedro Martinez, what's he have,
26 years.
230 some wins? He's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
Tommy John, 288 wins, and it was 12 shy of 300. That's supposedly the magical number. They're considering
26 year career, 3.34 ERA.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, he was one of the ones that I was on the fence with putting in. And
yeah.
I mean, and they're Kurt Schilling's getting a lot of votes. He's not there yet, again, because they say he says controversial things. He's only got 216 career victories.
Oh, but Schilling's a Hall of Famer, man. I don't care. Yeah. Schilling's not in the Hall of Fame because he's on the wrong political side of the writers. Yeah, totally right. I love Tommy John.
It's all politics. That's crazy.
Anybody that you had, Bill, that I didn't have on the list?
So I kind of want to bring up the controversial ones now that we're getting back circling around to it. So if you think of Shoeless Joe and Pete Rose, and I love that, Jeff. If you think of Shoeless Joe and Pete Rose, and the reason why they're not in the Hall of Fame is for cheating.
For gambling.
And now you think of gambling, cheating. You know, I
breaking
the
rules. Breaking the rules.
Exactly. So the Astros last year, what happened to them?
Nothing.
Is there not a precedent already set by Baseball Society that if you get caught breaking the rules, you're not going to get penalized for the rest of your life? That's what they're saying to Shoeless Joe, who's deceased, and that's what they're still saying to Pete Rose. And he autographs baseballs like, however many hits he had, was it 4,236, something like that, 4,200 hits and 0 steroid use, not a Hall of Famer, signed Pete Rose. That's how he signs a baseball.
Does he sign it like that?
Yeah, he's signed balls like that. It's crazy. And
that's funny.
That's going to be the most recent argument with the Old Timers Committee and everything with Pete Rose not getting Hall of Fame and Shoeless Joe is if you let the cheating that the Astros did get slide, why can't you let Shoeless Joe, who you can't prove took a dime to throw the 1918 World Series, and he had the best stats. It goes back to Field of Dreams.
373 in the series. It was in the 370s. I mean, that's insane.
Here's the thing. And so I'm a rules. I work with kids, and I don't like rules as we're talking about, but I do play fair, and I do teach fairness and sportsmanship and all those things. And I don't want to get all nerdy on you, but I'm a big believer in all of that. Now, here's the thing, and I'd love for you guys to knock me off of this pedestal, but it won't happen because I'm a 50-year-old who's had this opinion for 50 years already now. But here's what I think. Pete Rose was told, don't bet on baseball. If you bet on baseball, they're going to ban you from baseball. He knew he was going to get banned. He did it anyway. They banned him. He can't get paid to play or to manage. He can't be part of the team anymore. That's the punishment. The World Series is not in his grasp anymore. He can't be an owner. He can't be a player. He can't be part of the game. The Hall of Fame is a museum. It is a museum, and it's supposed to be a museum for the greatest players of all time. Pete Rose needs to be in that Hall of Fame. Not because he's a good guy, because he has more hits than anybody who's ever played the game professionally. How is this an argument? Now, the argument is, he was excluded, and they did. It all comes down to the negotiations. Bart Giamatti said, hey, just admit it, and after 10 years we'll let you in, and all the BS, and then Bart dies. They have a deal, and Bart dies, and all the things. Now it's just crusty old dudes with power wanting to hold it over. Because why? Pete Rose is a prick. And that's why. It's the same thing with Barry. Barry being a prick, sorry if that word is inappropriate for some people, Barry being the jerk of all time, and he was, clearly is preventing people from getting in the Hall of Fame that have nothing to do with it. Roger Clemens, not Mr. Popularity. One of the greatest right-hand pitchers of all time. This is a stupid holier-than-thou conversation that we've been having for 2 decades with people who have power that should not have it.
Yeah, Rose, like I said, none of that was stemmed from when he was a player. Well, he's not going into the Hall of Fame as a manager. He's going in as a player. And he never bet on his team to lose. Now, he was bet on his team to lose and was throwing games by not putting the right pitchers in that should be in.
I have trouble with that argument. what he did was very wrong. What he
Yeah.
did, every player hears at the beginning of the season. They have the conversation. They usually have the gambling conversation in spring training, and then when the gambling conversation's over, they do their choices for the NCAA tournament. So it's stupid. Let's be real. Gambling should not be illegal. I'll just say it. It's not anymore. Have you ever heard of DraftKings? It's not even illegal anymore. But
Yeah.
what he did would have given him an advantage as a gambler. But you know what I say? Don't gamble against Pete Rose. If you're taking Pete Rose's bet, you're the idiot. How did he hurt baseball? He didn't.
Well, that's the one thing now
Period.
that really makes me mad about that whole thing. MLB takes money. They make money off of DraftKings and what's the other one? FanDuel?
Tony Romo was told, and I know it's football, was told by the NFL he couldn't do a fantasy draft event in Vegas. He was told no. He said, "Are you kidding me? You don't get to tell me no." The NFL said, "Screw you, we did say no." And then the next year the NFL did the same thing. Instead they basically took Tony Romo's company's idea. That it's all about control. It's all 100%
Exactly.
about control.
Yeah, and then they wind up
hate
making
control
money
freaks.
off the same thing.
Stacey said a good word. I hate control freaks and I hate hypocrites. First of all, DraftKings. It's legal. It's legal. We can gamble on it right now. We have football in Vegas. What are we talking about? And I get it was a different time, but Pete Rose didn't hurt baseball. He broke the rules, but who did he take advantage of? The idiot. If you're gambling on baseball with Pete Rose, you're probably an idiot. He's the manager of the Reds. Why would you take that bet? He didn't hurt baseball.
Yeah. And then, like the steroid argument, if you go with Bonds and Clement, like all the guys that have the asterisk on them, this is my one thing with steroids. It doesn't help your hand-eye coordination. It doesn't help you decide what pitch the pitcher is going to throw. Like Barry Bonds used to say, he might only get one good pitch a game when he was going for the all-time record, and he had to make that one pitch count. He might have one swing a game, and he had to hit that ball into McCovey Cove.
He got walked with the bases loaded.
That.
They didn't walk him with the bases loaded because he had steroids.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it doesn't make sense. What steroids does, and not like I've learned this. Like when I was a player, I was like, yeah, steroids are bad, blah blah blah. But now that I've grown past that, I'm in the Army now, and I know like nutrition of body and how steroids work and why they're bad, and it's because people don't use them right, yada yada. But what they do is they make you recover faster.
That's right.
Like let's say you play a game. You inject steroids in, and it helps your body recover quicker. It doesn't help you get stronger. It doesn't make your muscles bigger. It's not like Trenbolene or whatever it's called. You look like one of those cows. It helps you recover, and it's like Kenny Powers.
Which allows you...
Go ahead.
Which just allows you to work out more.
Yeah, it allows you to work out more.
Effectively.
Yes. Yeah, I use the Kenny Powers argument. If you ever watch the show Eastbound and Down on HBO...
I hear it's great. I have not.
It's Danny McBride. Will Ferrell's one of the writers / producers. It's about he was John Rocker basically in the '90s, and the biggest DICK ever in the history of baseball. And he comes out now. He's a substitute teacher in a school in North Carolina, and he starts injecting steroids, but he's not working out or anything, so he's just getting fat, and it's just getting more ridiculous. Like that's what steroids does. If you don't actually work out and try, it doesn't help you at all. It makes you fatter and slower. So hand-eye coordination doesn't help. It doesn't help you with hitting the ball. Nothing like it just helps you recover so you can be able to play the next day. That's it. So in my mind, honestly, I would like to see a season where they're like, send it. Everybody juice up. Take it the right way. That way you don't have any negative side effects in your body. And let's just see what happens. Like, that would be insane. Like, being in the Army, there's some guys that I 100% believe should be on steroids to help them recover quicker and be monitored properly. That way they can get bigger and stronger and be able to, I don't know, carry a guy out of a firefight without having to worry about, I can't carry this guy.
Right.
So
if I just got my toe knocked off and I need you to carry me out, I hope you're roided up, buddy. I hope you can get me out of there. Right? Come on.
We had a guy that was like 5'1" and 80 pounds soaking wet. He met the minimum weight requirement that the Army has for you to join. And this guy, they had him on double rations, which they gave him like a card, like, hey, go to Starbucks and eat an extra meal a day. And you get 2 times the food rations at the the dining facility, and he was still 80 pounds soaking wet after a year. And he
I have that card. My wife gave me that card. It works at my house too.
Get extra rations.
Just get some extra lasagna, throw on the plate.
Yeah. First 5 years I didn't have it, but then I found where she kept the card, and it worked out just fine.
That's great though. Oh man.
No, I don't know. I think there's a longer argument with the steroids thing, but why are some things legal and some things aren't? If you're Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa, and you hit 70 home runs and 66 home runs, and you're juiced up, or you're using a cork bat or whatever, catch me. Like there's a Lance Armstrong argument in here. Lance Armstrong is the greatest cyclist in the world. Lance Armstrong gets cancer. By the way, the 30 for 30 or whatever they call it now was awesome last night.
Great.
Check it out. Yeah, I can't wait for the next one. But the story goes, he was the greatest cyclist in the world. Who freaking cares, right? Cyclist, nobody cares in America. Then he gets cancer. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. Then he comes back. He beats cancer. Now we love him. Then he wins. Cancer survivor wins. Clearly he's doing what he's doing, which the show clearly showed. Everybody knew it, or they just chose to ignore it because they like the story. It's the same thing with roids. McGwire and Sosa saved baseball from the stupidity that was the baseball leadership. And then we throw them to the wolves. Why? Because they did what we wanted them to do. ESPN, chicks love the long ball, all the stuff, all the accolades. And then we hate on them for doing what we asked them to do. It's BS. If it's illegal, catch me. If it's not illegal, if it's illegal and I take the risk, I take the risk. What was the risk? There was no risk because they weren't trying to catch them. Stupid.
It's like the pine tar game. Like, that makes no sense. I love how you brought up the cork.
Yes.
Because I don't know if you've seen it, but sports science did a thing on a cork baseball bat, and did it actually help you hit the ball further? And the answer was no, because it absorbed, because you hollowed the bat out, and you put cork in there, which naturally absorbs energy. It doesn't make sense. And they were ejecting guys. They found Sosa had a cork bat. Well, if you look at the science behind it, it absorbed the energy, and then the ball would come out at a lower velocity than if the bat wasn't corked. And yeah, you're swinging the bat faster, but it takes all that kinetic energy and
who thinks
it in the bat to release it.
Yes. If you think it has a spring effect, that's because you've never hit a ball in your freaking life.
I know.
When you hit the ball and you squared it up right. When you hit the ball perfect, right? You've done it. We've everybody who could hit did it, and you felt the ball depress. You felt it for that moment, and then it shoots out. How does that make sense if the bat is the one giving? If the bat is giving, you don't want that. You want the ball to give so it shoots out. If the bat gives, that's taking the energy. You want the energy to be going out, not in. What do we have to be freaking doctors to understand this? That's not complex, right? You want the energy going out.
I'll post a picture on our Facebook page just to that fact, Jeff. Bill had a DeMarini bat when he played in high school and went around all the showcases. I don't know if I sent you that picture. And
they were illegal when I played.
The bat is bent.
Softball?
The bat is bent. When it was right after he hit the ball, and you can see the whip in the bat. It's got to be a good 2 inches off of being straight. I'll post it in our Facebook group.
That's science. That's freaking awesome. I want to see it. That's cool.
So with the metal bats, they should give, and then they kind of bend on the inside too. So wherever the ball hits, it'll wrap around the ball and then trampoline effect and throw the ball, if you will.
But wrapping around the ball gives it more surface area. Yeah. Just like a curveball. The longer I keep it on my finger, the more rotations I'm going to get. The more contact I have, so I needed longer fingers. Same thing, right?
That's why in 2010, college baseball, in fact, went from the old standard of aluminum or metal bats to BB core standard, which deadened it to the fact that it was less powerful than a wooden bat.
Huh. I vaguely am aware of that, but I don't know anything about it. Interesting.
I wish I could find my old. Yeah, I wish I could find my old hard drive that I got all my pictures on from when I took the baseball photography. I caught a ball on a bat in a game. Literally, the ball was wrapped around the bat. That's how much it decompressed and flattened out. It was like, it looked like a Bugs Bunny cartoon around the bat. That's how
I'd love to see that. I would love to see that. Lynn, the Lynn Project. Hey, Lynn. Lynn's having waffles for dinner. She says, I had a waffle bat once. It was big.
I think she meant a wiffle bat.
Lynn, I love you. Yeah, I think she means the big fat. Those are fun. I love waffle bats and I love wiffle bats. I might have. How many wiffle ball bats do you think I have in my home and garage total? Do you think more or less than 30? Because the answer is I'm not sure, but it's about 30. I have a lot.
Oh, I was going to say 3.
No, I have more than my fair share. I've been trying to get my wife to let me to put fencing up so I can have wiffle ball. I just want a pitching machine. I want to go out there and whack. She keeps saying no.
Oh, well.
At some point, I'll ignore her.
Well, we went way over tonight, that's for sure. That's all right.
I had fun. I had fun. So the key to tonight are 2 things. Garvey should be in the Hall of Fame, and A. Matthews, the 12-point question, put me ahead. There you go. Love it. I had fun. So anything you guys want to say? Anything you want to promote before we say good night to the peeps?
No, that's all I got for tonight.
Bill Jr.?
Pretty much. Yeah, I mean, I got hopefully the weather will cooperate with me more this week because I know, Jeff, it's been raining a lot here. Bad thunderstorms over the Memorial Day weekend. So
yeah,
I'm going to get out and film hopefully tomorrow and have my first video up, I pray, by the end of the week. My first instructional / coaches type video for our YouTube channel. So we'll see how it goes, but it's not looking good. It's supposed to be clearing up towards the end of the week, but hopefully tomorrow I can get out and film. So I'm really excited.
I know we're not in the exact same area, but we're pretty close. We had 80% chance of rain for 10 straight days, and then today it all changed. We're gonna so maybe so you might get lucky. Hopefully, we had a beautiful day today. It's supposed to be warmer tomorrow, but anyway. I love that stuff. I can't wait for that. I love this show. I love all you people that come to listen to baseball. I believe next week's topic will be based around the news that we have because we're going to have a season. I don't think it's going to be what they have now. I haven't read it, but what little I read I hated, and what Bill told me didn't give me a whole lot of confidence on what the players are going to do. But they're going to come around. The owners need them to come around. Or they're going to contract. You know what? Whatever. I've got a whole opinion. It'll be fun. Same time next week, we'll talk to you about the topics. Check out the thumbnail, and we'll let you know what we're going to be talking about here in the future. Bill, you got anything you want to promote on your podcast or your Disney website?
No, I'm posting that picture now on the Facebook page that I was just talking about with Bill and the bat. People want to check us out on our Facebook page. Just search for Bush League Baseball, and let me throw them up here real quick.
Love it.
And our Instagram, and also I just started a Twitter too, so I've been posting a few things on Twitter. Didn't know. There's our Facebook, and
it's worth checking out. Bill puts really cool content on there, including
there's our Instagram, and I think I just started the Twitter. I think it's at Bush Baseball. Bush_baseball, I believe, is it. But if you search Bush League Baseball, it'll come up, and our logo is on there. But look on our Facebook page, and I'm going to post that picture now. And you'll see what I mean about the torque on the bat.
Cool. I want to see it. That'll be fun. Good stuff, people. I had a great time. Play ball. That's what I want to hear somebody say. And, yeah, get the umps off my field. I think that's it. Stick around for his outro. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's always dang awesome. And again, thanks for being here, everybody. Have a great day. See you.
I got 2 for you tonight.
Nice. Stick around for that.
All right.
Later, everybody.
We'll see you, everybody. See you next week.
Later. Go Dodgers.
Yeah, go Phillies. Absolutely, Bill.
Go where? Go away, Phillies. Whatever.